Hello, everybody. So, of course, the big question for the weekend, the big question for this next week is, will we be running back up for Bitcoin and for strategy? And this Friday, so yesterday, we had some pretty good movements. As some people seem to have said on X, strategy is kind of sucking the air out of the room because it was up 2.1, actually more like 2.7, 2.8-ish percent. If you take the after hours for strategy, that's how much it was up yesterday, while IBIT, if a Bitcoin ETF, was down 1.5%, MetaPlanet also down 1%. Kindly MD writes that's Nakamoto down almost 5%, a little up after hours. Cantor Equity, that's Jack Mallers' company, 21 Capital, down 2%. Strive down 7%, continuing its decline. So clearly, when you compare strategy to the other Bitcoin treasury companies, strategy is sucking air out of the room, and it clearly outperformed Bitcoin yesterday. So the point is that the mNAV is running back up. So if you look at the mNAV, is running back up. Thursday night, the mNAV was 1.39, and yesterday night it was 1.43, and this is the mNAV as calculated on strategy.com, on the strategy.com dashboard. So that's mNAV as viewed through the lens of MSTR calculation, MSTR methodology. It went back up nicely, and if you use a third-party tracker like strategytracker.com, you can see we also bounce back up from a low of 1.31 to now 1.36. So that was a positive development, and hopefully this continues into the next week. Let's continue just looking at the preferred. So unfortunately, if you look at the preferred, they took a dive, and that dive, of course, was consistent with their volatility. Strike is pretty much at the second lowest price you can get it. Stride is almost the lowest price. I mean, it's roughly the lowest price you can get it out of a year. And if you look at Stretch is not the lowest price, but Stretch dropped a little bit. You know, we're still in for a rate cut at the end of the month. So you know, it's still, to me, possible that in the near future this one trades past 100, and when that happens, we can ATM, and the ATM machine just starts. Strife is really the only preferred that, in terms of stock price, has been doing pretty darn well. So, to me, if I were Michael Saylor, yeah, volatility is a gift to the faithful. If I were Michael Saylor, I would just sit tight and wait until the market comes back to its senses. Wait until the trade war madness just stops, and really, if I look at, technically it still makes sense to ATM on the common, but I understand the market really hates that right now, so maybe don't do that. But technically it's still accretive. Whether you take 1.36 on 1.43, it's still accretive technically to ATM on the common. That's not what the market wants right now. So if I look at what you can do to raise more money, to buy more Bitcoin, really ATMing on Strife is the most interesting thing to do, because they are trading at a price to par of 1.09. So you're issuing a $100 debt for $109, you make $9.79, right? You can't really do that on Stride and Strike. These are more expensive to issue. Stretch, we're not quite there yet in the way they underwrote this asset. You have to be over 99, so you can't do Stretch. So Strife still makes sense, but really, I think what he should do is just sit tight and wait until the market comes back to its senses, and that will happen, of course, when Bitcoin shoots back up. Bitcoin is now lagging gold. Gold is getting all of the mind share. Gold is getting all of the attention. Bitcoin, unfortunately, keeps selling off at night, keeps selling off on weekends. It is the only asset you can sell off in the middle of the night or on the weekend in a meaningful way. And therefore, we are sitting at 107. We've been a stable coin overnight, I guess I prefer to be a stable coin than going down. But hopefully, we go back up on Bitcoin. I obviously don't know where this is going to go. But if you look at Polymarket, some interesting bets, for example, on China, because let's remember what made Bitcoin drop was a liquidation triggered by China tariff fear, triggered by a continuation of the April debacle and the April Liberation Day madness. That's what triggered the liquidation. So the very issue at the heart of this liquidation, which took us down to 107, is, is there going to be an escalation in the trade war with China? If you look at Polymarket has been very good at predicting this stuff. It's saying that 100% tariff chance of that being effective by November 1st is zero. I mean, it's next to 0% chance. They say 8% chance. Same for tariff on China by November 1st, 0%. Of course, that's the same taken in reverse. But still, the market is very positive about China. Also predicting meeting with Xi during the next 2 weeks. And there's been a lot of productive talks and saying, 100% tariff on China is not sustainable. So yeah, I think we're going to be just fine. But then again, on this channel, as you know, as always, this is not investment advice. This is not financial advice. This is just entertainment. I hope you were entertained. Please like, please subscribe, follow me on Patreon, follow me on X. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.